Hey guys, it's Rose and welcome to my new series of mythology and mystery. It is an urban legends based series and I hope you enjoy it. The one we're going to be talking about today is the legend of Bloody Mary. Now, as most of you I hope know, the Bloody Mary story is of a woman who appears in a mirror after you chant her name an approximate amount of times, and she either harms you or leaves you alone. Now, what you may not know is there is an olden version of this tale where you go backwards down the steps with a mirror and a candle, and you supposedly see the face of your true love in the mirror. Or you see the Grim Reaper, which means you will die before you are able to wed. Now, there are different variations of this tale, which not all of them I'll be able to get into in this video, unfortunately, but the ones I will be able to get into are ones that are hopefully based on the Mary legend. If not, I'm sorry that I wasted your time with these, but I think they're cool little stories anyway. There are a lot of movies and stuff based on this legend, so if you only watched those, you might want to brush up on your history a little bit more, because this unfortunately is an urban legend that has been passed down for many generations. I've even done it. I'm still alive. And it's sad to see that something so horrible has been passed down, because no matter what way you see it, a legend of Bloody Mary is just about somebody who dies, unfortunately, and her ghost will haunt you. So it's not exactly a happy legend, but it's one of my favorites, so let's get on with it. Now, the consequences in the modern version of the Bloody Mary legend of summoning her is she can claw your eyes out and horribly disfigure your face. She can kill you. Yeah, she can make you go insane, or you could end up dead somewhere else, depending. Or she leaves you alone. And then one, you just disappear. None of that sounds good to me, except for the leaving me alone part. But if I really wanted left alone by a spirit, I'd just not do it. There are many people that they think that this legend is based on. But a lot of psychologists and stuff believe that this is all an illusion, and most of the people they say that see something has dissociative identity effect, and that it's just normal for them to see like messed up faces. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, so I can't either prove or disprove that theory. And that's about it. Now we're going to get into the people they believe this legend was based on. The first one was Mary Tudor. She was a Catholic woman who... She was a Catholic woman who violently killed many Protestants. She tortured them and burned them at the stake. Yeah, that sounds like a lovely person. I'm sorry, I have to put my glasses on because I have to see. I have to read off the screen. I'm sorry. I don't have a very good memory, and I haven't gotten this stuff down, so I'm gonna have to read off stuff. I'm sorry. It feels generic, but it's what I have to do. Alright. Okay, Mary Tudor had a reign of 5 years. She was also unable to have children and suffered 2 phantom pregnancies, and that's why there's a variation of the legend involving the Bloody Mary chanting, "I stole your baby." I've never heard that one. So, I mean, I've heard of the legends where she was pregnant and heard of the legends like that, but never anything too concrete. Next one was named Mary Worth, and she was a witch who lived in Chicago around the time of the Civil War. Now, she used to catch runaway slaves and keep them chained up in her barn, then she would use them in diabolical black magic rituals. Eventually, the locals took her in their own hands and burned her at the stake. Her charred remains were supposedly buried in St. Patrick's Cemetery. Again, not something I can prove. None of these stories are really anything I can prove. So, if you want to do your own research, you can always Google Bloody Mary, like I did. And this one I don't like, this story I don't like as much because it has to do with vanity, which a lot of it is vanity because Bloody Mary does something to your face, usually. Oh, I messed up. And when you disappear from the bathroom, you end up trapped in the mirror with a ghost for eternity. Oops, sorry. Anyway, Mary Warrington lived in the 1960s, and she was a beautiful girl who was very vain. She loved to look at her reflection in the mirror, but sadly she was involved in a terrible car accident and her face was horribly disfigured. No one could bear to look at her, and she couldn't even stand to look at herself. One day, when she accidentally caught a glimpse of her reflection in a mirror, she committed suicide. I feel bad for her. I hate anything having to do with suicide. Next lady is Mary Wales. She was a young woman who was run over by a truck and killed while she was waiting on a street corner. Again, her face was horribly mangled in the accident. To summon her, you say, "I believe in you, Mary Wales." Now, the variations that have you saying their name, I've never heard of. So I don't know if that's actually a thing or not. But that's what it's. That's what is written. So hold on, I gotta do something. Haha! I fixed it. I fixed it. Now this legend is, well, not really a legend, but this basis for the Bloody Mary legend is a little more well known, and even though her name is not Mary, you may know her as the Blood Countess or the Countess Dracula. She's believed Elizabeth Bathory is a Hungarian noblewoman who lived from 1560 to about 1614. She is believed to have tortured and killed many young girls because she wanted to bathe in their blood. She believed it would preserve her youthful beauty. She killed more than 600 victims in all, using hot pokers, an Iron Maiden, pins, blades, and freezing water. Eventually her crimes were exposed, and she was walled up alive in her castle in Slovakia. Of course, her name is not Mary, but this cruel woman has been inserted into the legend. I hope most of you know that story because it's pretty well known. Next Mary that we have on the list is Mary Weatherby. She's a woman who was stabbed to death by her husband. They say if you go into a dark room and say her name 3 times, her mutilated face will appear in the mirror and she will chase you with a bloody knife. That one I've never heard of again, but I don't want to get chased with a bloody knife, so I'm good. Now this one sounds a bit more like the Carrie story than a Bloody Mary story, but I will tell you it all the same. Mary Johnson, wrong one. Mary Lou was a girl who lived in the USA in the 1950s. At her senior prom, she was crowned prom queen. But somebody decided to play an unfortunate joke on her, and they set off firecrackers, and her dress caught fire and she was burned alive. The best night of your life, and somebody kills you. I can understand why she'd want to come back and kill some people. Sorry, it's not funny, but I gotta make light of it somehow, or it just becomes incredibly sad, and I don't want to tell it. Now, Mary Johnson, the one I said before, is a witch who was burned at the stake during the Salem witch trials. To summon her, everybody sits in in a circle, and holds hands. Of course, the room has to be completely dark, and you repeat together, "Come, Mary Johnson, come." A dim light will appear over the head of one person. That's all of that legend that I know of. If you have other details, please leave them in the comments. And the next one is Hail Mary, and it's a reversed allusion to Hail Mary. Hold on. There is a legend that claims if you go into a dark room, look into a mirror and chant Hail Mary 7 times, the mirror will run red with blood and you will see the face of Satan. I'd rather not. I don't know whose blood that is and I don't want to see Satan. No, thank you. Now the next one, I don't see how it has anything to do with the legend of Bloody Mary, but I will report it nonetheless. Svarte Madam. I probably completely butchered that because it's Swedish. But there is a version, not virgin, called Svarta Madam, or the Black Madam. She appears in the mirror if you say, I don't believe in you, Svarte Madam, 12 times. She has black skin, green hair, red teeth, and glowing yellow eyes. So she sounds like a perfect person, I'm sorry, to want to invite over for your next party. I don't know. But that is all I could fit into one episode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you didn't, please give me some tips on stuff you'd like to see me do in the future, and if you have any ideas on how I can make this better, because I don't think it's really showing my creativity, and it's not the way I want this format to be and these videos to be. So please, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. If you have any ideas on the next thing you'd like me to research to make a video, please leave those in the comments as well. And please do not go and chant Bloody Mary in your mirror, because if it's true, I will miss you. And if it's not, well, then I look like a liar. I don't want to be a liar. I want to be a truther. If you don't get that reference, we cannot be friends. I'm sorry. It just can't happen. But that has been Mysteries and Mythology, or the reverse of that, like I said before. And I hope you all have a good night.